I'm Megan Spurline, news editor at the Vidette, the student voice of Illinois State University, and a reporter for WGLT. Welcome to Democracy's Future, a joint project between the Vidette and WGLT News. We hear from the students who will help chart the future of our democracy. On this episode of Democracy's Future, we hear from students who are already getting experience about how democracy works. They are serving on the Student Senate at Illinois Wesleyan University, a private liberal arts college in Bloomington. The Student Senate is made up of 36 senators who represent the needs and opinions of students to the campus administration. Vidette reporter Ryan Nolasco talks with two students who are learning about the structures of government while also pursuing their own passion projects. Maya McGrew is a sophomore from Joliet, majoring in interdisciplinary educational studies. McGrew serves on Student Senate's Civic Engagement Committee. Raji Moore is a sophomore computer science major from Bloomington. Moore serves on the Senate's Sustainability Committee. They explain what got them interested in serving on the Student Senate and how it ties in with their views on democracy, starting with Maya McGrew.
So I grew up on the east side of Joliet, and then my parents saw how the environment was. Unfortunately, a lot of the families there, they don't have access to the proper resources to successfully raise a family or care for their children. So my parents saw that issue and decided to move me to unincorporated Joliet, where I face a lot of discrimination and racism and harassment and bullying in my new school district. So after facing these issues firsthand and observing that like other people were experiencing the same thing and not feeling any type of like support by administration in any way, I decided to take matters into my own hand. And I started creating social justice clubs. The first one being named Allies and Diversity. After that, my love for community service and social justice and advocacy just kind of grew, which led me to applying to and being accepted into IWU. And right off the bat, I was greeted by Student Senate members with, oh my goodness, they're just so welcoming and down to earth. So the first month at IWU, I joined Student Senate and I joined the Civic Engagement Committee there. Again, just working with the Bloomington Normal community and the Iowa community as a whole. It was just a lot of fun, and their culture is just vibrant. So I decided to go ahead and take the first step and run for the Civic Engagement Co-Commissioner position, which then kind of like segued me into my position now as commissioner. So
this is Raji. So my interest in sustainability really emerged after COVID. I think that the agenda for sustainability kind of arose then, but previously in high school is where my interest for being involved in student affairs and things like that came. I was very involved in the Black Lives Matter movement and various other social justice movements. I created community-wide events, held candlelight vigils, and advocated for many marginalized groups during my time in high school. And through that experience, I realized the power of simply advocating for people and the power that bringing a whole entire community together for the same exact issue really brings towards towards change. And I find that advocating for what is currently relevant or what is most needed at this time is very important. So at that time, I believe I advocated for social justice. And in this sense, at this point in my life, I think what is most needed is a sustainability advocacy. So that is what my current role is. I think that climate change is a serious issue and a serious topic that we have to address properly. So my current role is bringing awareness to various issues. So far in my time as Student Senate Sustainability Commissioner, I've brought awareness to soil conservation and the degradation of soil as a topic. That is what I'm currently passionate about and advocating in my school. These students that I'm working with and rubbing shoulders with are highly motivated individuals, and it is inspiring to also be in that same environment. I think we all push each other to be our best. So that is why I wanted to join Student Senate. We are trying to be the best we can, and that is very inspiring.
Where do you guys place like the importance, or like how do you view the IWU Student Senate as a function of democracy? Where is it located, if you will?
All students are encouraged to participate and be involved in Student Senate. They are welcome to attend our GA meetings, and we try to represent all student groups. Our student senators are very diverse people and are involved in many student organizations on campus. So the senators that come in, we hope are representatives of all of the student organizations on campus. We hope that is reflective of democracy in terms of all places being represented equally. So our senators and committee members, commissioners, we try to target or represent all people on campus and talk to everyone.
Yeah, and then, this is Maya. To kind of answer the second half of that question, I do feel as though, and young people today, a lot of our perceptions within politics vary, but that's not to say that a lot of us aren't involved. I think you look at Raji and I, and there's so many like Raji and I's on IWU's campus, and I think, just globally, so many student leaders who are actively involved, not only in their college communities, but just like back at home in their hometowns, and they're very passionate about like a lot of different topics. I know for mine maybe civic engagement and Raji's maybe sustainability, but there are so many other social issues that students like to advocate for.
I have a bit of a big question for you guys. What would you say your thoughts are just on the current state of democracy? And I know that is vague, so you can kind of answer that however makes sense to you.
This is Raji. I feel as though many do not participate because they do not feel like their vote matters. And I hope through Maya's efforts, more students will participate because it's so important for people to be active participants, and not to be swayed by the opinions of others. Mm-hmm. I think that is most important. We all know that there's a big bipartisan conflict.
Absolutely.
And that our country seems as though it is divided. Mm-hmm. My understanding is that it is now changing, and many students and young people realize how detrimental being so heads or tails can be, and they're leaning more towards a centric view. That is just my perspective on it, that a lot of Gen Z students feel as though the bipartisan system isn't really taking us forward, so they're becoming more conscious, and I think that's a very good thing. In terms of democracy, I would love for more students and youth to be involved because we are essentially the future, and we have to advocate for what we want.
So you're interested in civic engagement, and you think it's more of a mixed bag of if students are interested in politics or not. How do you go about getting this other group civically engaged, the group that's either not caring or not educated or somewhere else? How do you go about civically engaging students and other young people?
In all honesty, we've had a few meetings about this. It's been hard. It's difficult. I don't know if it's really because they don't care about it or if it's just really pulling them out of their dorms. That's the issue. And I'm speaking from experience because I like to stay in my dorm. But no, in all honesty, I've been trying to look more at like incentives. What would bring students out? And I've noticed and recognized that it's food usually. So no, at a lot of my events, we usually try to like include some type of incentives to grab those students. But if not, usually I try to co-sponsor events with other RSOs, our clubs on campus. So for example, this past semester, I had co-sponsored with our Women in Politics, which is a new RSO, and then our Black Student Union. So both of those groups bring their members and different diverse perspectives and groups from campus. So that's usually why I try to do it. And it just kind of engages maybe a lot of students who wouldn't have been there if not. So yeah, that's usually my go-tos, but I always try to stay open and keep an open mind towards like other ideas. Yeah.
This is Raji, and in terms of sustainability, it is of course difficult to get people to show up at events. No one really wants to be lectured on recycling best practices or please start riding your bike to campus. No one wants to have that kind of agenda shoved in their throats. So my approach is to make it fun. And I've been trying to make more appealing events where people will show up, at least get their foot in the door, and then we kind of educate them on sustainability. But first, please have your foot in the door. And some of those events I'm highlighting and trying to implement. So for Earth Week, I have a stargazing event on the quad. This is just a place where students can come, have some s'mores, relax. And then we have some light pollution and air pollution facts involved. So make it fun and then have people learn more about it is, I think, a way to get more students engaged. Because I find that people don't come to events to be lectured and learn about sustainability if it's not something they would do in their free time. Another one would be Earth Flicks and Chill. A little spin on Netflix and Chill. And this would be a documentary regarding the food industry. Without that initial interest, people don't actually care to act on change. You have to make that initial interest. If people feel some kind of inkling towards, yes, this matters, change can actually occur as a byproduct of it.
That was Illinois Wesleyan Student Senate members Raji Moore and Maya McGrew speaking with Vidette reporter Ryan Nolasco. We still have several more episodes of Democracy's Future before the spring semester closes. In one episode, we'll hear how students try to detect bias and misinformation in the media, plus hear about one group that's helping college women find their voice in politics. Our thanks to audio producers Ryan Toohey and Ariel Jones, WGLT Digital Content Director Ryan Denham, and WGLT News Director Eric Stock. Please give us your feedback on this series and let us know if there are certain issues you'd like us to explore. Email us at news@wglt.org. Subscribe to Democracy's Future on the NPR app or wherever you get your podcasts. Until next time, I'm Megan Spurline. Thank you for listening.